So, here's a magnet. You got it? Doesn't have a field like that. The field around the magnet looks like that. It's three-dimensional. Are you with me still? So then, if your body is a magnet, and you're more in survival than creation, and you've been thinking and feeling and stored all that energy as emotion in those first three centers, and now you're more matter and less energy, you're not running a current through your body. There's no magnet. So it's just like that piece of metal, but there's no field around it. There's no charge. And Asian cultures have known this for generations, because as you start to accelerate that energy, that fluid, and it begins to create that inductance field, you're activating a tube in your body called the prana tube that yogis have talked about for thousands of years. You're activating the movement of energy. And that begins to run a current, and as it passes up through each vertebral segment, there's nerves that go to different parts of your body, and all of a sudden, you're running a current through your nervous system as it passes through each center. Are you with me still? Yes. Did you get that? Yes. And all of a sudden, you have the movement of energy. And according to Asian cultures, all disease is the blocking of the flow of energy. So then they say, okay, the energy is not flowing through certain meridians, through certain pathways. Let's put some conductors called steel needles here, and we'll move the energy all the way out. Are you with me still? Yes. So when you do this breath, and you inhale, and you start moving this energy, you are going to create a current running through your body. You're going to feel it. And if you do the same things, you get the same things happening in your life. But if you try something different, you should have a different experience. Just saying. So pulling the mind out of the body, or what we call changing your energy. Here's a charged molecule. You accelerate it, it creates an inductance field around it. Did you see that? Watch again. You got it? If I take several charged molecules and I accelerate them, I'm going to create a bigger field around it. Yes? So then, all this energy is sitting in the first three centers in your body, in the centers of survival. And you want to draw that energy from survival and take those survival emotions, turn them into creative emotions, elevated emotions. And it's like pulling fluid up a straw. You're pulling it up that tube, and you're creating an electromagnetic field. Does that make sense? And the only image that I use when I do this is just drawing fluid up a straw. I'm just pulling that energy up. I'm not thinking, I'm not analyzing, I'm not resisting, I just keep going. And I now know, I've done it enough times, I've been knocked unconscious by this energy so many times. And people are always worried about me, you know, I'm on the ground, and they're, oh my God, I'm having the time of my life. I just want you to know. So then, that field that's created is not a two-dimensional field, it's actually a three-dimensional field. Looks like this. Are you with me still? So, if you accelerate those charged molecules, you create this field called a torus field. And most of the universe is created from a torus field. You should know that, yes? So you have your own little universe going there. And as you begin to create this torus field, of course, you're drawing energy up from your body, and you're producing it in a field. Does that make sense? Yes. So then here's your sacrum bone down here. This is your target, way up here. As you contract those intrinsic muscles with your attention on the top of your head, and you're inhaling in one slow, steady breath, you're drawing that fluid all the way up into your brain. The moment it makes it up into your brain, it should begin to produce a measurable electromagnetic field. Are you with me still? But that field is not two-dimensional. The field is actually three-dimensional. Are you with me still? Now, is this making sense to you? Yes. Is knowledge the precursor to experience? Yes. The more knowledge you have, the more prepared you are for the event. Yes? So if you understand what you're doing and why, the how should get a little easier. Yeah? So then there's your target, you're inhaling, you're pulling this energy up, and the moment it strikes your brain, you should become a magnet. And you should begin to go from a piece of inert metal with no charge to running a current in your body and having a measurable electromagnetic field surrounding your body. You're running a current. You with me still? There you are, you're sitting there, you're contracting those intrinsic muscles, your attention is on the top of your head, and you got to get past this center right here. Once it moves through the center, it starts to move pretty freely all the way up into your brain. The moment it reaches your brain, it produces an electromagnetic field. Yes? But that field is not two-dimensional. That field is actually three-dimensional. You with me still? So your breath should be your intent to raise your energy. Are you with me still? Your breath should be your will to transmute an emotion, a limited emotion, into an elevated emotion. Are you with me still? And you generate this field around your body. Now, check it out. As you do it, each one of these energy centers has a different frequency. So as you're moving them, there's slower frequency here, but as it moves up, the field gets a little tighter and a little faster. It's got to pass through this little tiny little passageway here, big container into a small container, and when it gets up in here, when it reaches your brain then, you produce a measurable electromagnetic field. How many people are understanding this? Now, I know people have done a lot of different breaths, and I know about Kundalini, but you've noticed I'm not using those words because I don't want to exclude anybody. Yes? But I'm asking you to do it this way and do it differently so you can have a different experience. How does that sound? So then, check this out, because this is the closest I can describe it. You got to get passionate, and when it reaches this fourth center, it begins to activate it. As it moves through this fifth center, some people get afraid of it because it can close their throat off. It moves to the sixth center right here, and finally when it moves into the brain, it's a very, very fast frequency, and all of a sudden, the energy moves even above your head, and you produce this electromagnetic field. But the cool thing is that there's a reverse field now. Now you're drawing information from the unified field. And now it's coming down through your centers into your body. And so many of our students, when they've done this, they've said, it was like my body was bathed in light. This cone of light came right through the top of my head, and my depression is gone. I mean, I'm telling you, those are their exact words. Are you with me still? Does that make sense to you? So now, we had this guy at one of our advanced workshops come up on the stage, and he said, hey, you know, I travel for a living, and I had to go on a flight from Phoenix to Los Angeles, to Orange County, and I had a 6 o'clock flight, and there was a lot of traffic in Phoenix, and I got up at 3:30, and I packed, and I didn't have time to do my meditation. So what I did was, when I was driving in the Phoenix traffic, every time I came to a stoplight, I would close my eyes and do this breath. Now, I don't recommend this at all. But this is what he did. And he said I was having the most amazing experience, because he wasn't really expecting anything, and of course he just got into it, and all of a sudden that energy started to move, and every time he got to the light, he would be in bliss, and so he gets to the parking lot, parks his car, grabs his bag, runs the security line, throws his bag on the security line, and then he gets in the Tetra scan. And the guy pulls him out of line, and he said to him, can I touch the top of your head? And he said, sure. So he leans over, he touches the top of his head, and he said, why are you touching the top of my head? And he goes, well, look at that. There's something coming out of the top of your head here. So I told that story in Austin last year, and there was a guy in the audience named Jorge, who was an engineer that worked for Halliburton and traveled for a living as well. Now, I've seen this guy move energy, and it has scared him many times. I have seen him, what it has done to him, and I've seen the look in his eye. And that energy came right down his hands and lit him up. And now he quit his job. He's not even an engineer, he's a healer now, because that energy is moving right through him. Are you with me? He said, he raised his hand in the audience and he said, you're not going to believe this. Just a few weeks ago, I was in the Houston airport and I was trying to catch a flight, and I went through the Tetra scan and they pulled me out and they asked if they could touch the top of my head. And he touched the top of his head and he turned around and he looked, and there was this big thing coming out of the top of his head. So then I said, hell, I'm going to try this. I travel a lot. But then I said, I'm going to change up the experiment. So what I'm going to do is, instead, I'm going to rest my attention in the center of my chest, because there's a big brain right in there, 60,000, 80,000 neurites. And I am going to breathe in and breathe out the love of God until I'm intoxicated. And I'm going to keep my energy there, and I'm going to radiate it beyond my body. And that energy is going to carry the intent for the greatest good of everybody who comes across my work. That's just what I wanted to do. So, and I got really inspired because you can always do it better when you're doing it for others. You know how that goes, right? This is a selfless center. So here I am, I'm just consumed. Meditation ends, I got a 6:30 flight, boom, I'm out the door, and of course I forget. And I get right into the thing, and I go like this, and boom, here goes the thing, and the guy takes me out, and he says his exact words, "Can I touch your chest?"
Oh my God.
And I said, "Why?" He said, "Are you wearing a medallion?" I said, "You mean, am I wearing bling?" He goes, "Yeah, are you wearing some big medallion here?" I say, "No." He goes, "Well, can I touch your chest?" So he touches my chest, and I turn around, and there's just a huge yellow thing right here. And now, when we travel, when my staff travels, we always go, okay, let's see where we're going to do it. And so, Paula does it, and she opens her focus, and it's on her ears, it's just where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Are you with me still?
Yes.
Now, when I say that you have to go after this with a level of intensity that's greater than your body as your mind, that you can't let your body be your mind, and that when we play the music, you have to interpret the music as the movement of energy. You got to become inspired and invincible. You got to get big, because that starts the process. It actually activates gamma in the brain when you do that. Are you with me still? You can't sit there and go, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this," or "I'm just going to wait." And nothing's going to happen for you. You understand? You got to go after it. And so as you start inhaling and contracting these muscles, you're waking up that sleeping dragon, and all those rolled up charged molecules that are just energy stored in your body are going to unravel, and that energy is going to travel to your brain. And when it does, there goes all the guilt, there goes all the pain, there goes all the aggression. It's turning into pure energy, and it's going right up into your brain. Because if the emotion is stored in the body's in the past. So you are freeing yourself and creating a field. Are you with me still? And I'm telling you, I watched that lady, 78 years old, in Los Angeles. I watched her head kick back, and I watched that energy strike her in the brain. She walked right up to the stage, and she said, "I haven't felt like this in 40 years. I said, "That's energy, honey." And she was pretty awake. So you can't tell me you're too old to do this. Not after that lady. So then, if there's a marching band, and the marching band is moving like this, and the first person stops, what's going to happen to everybody else? Yeah? So if you're drawing this energy up, and this happens to so many people, you got to get all this energy from a big container right through this little passage here. And when you start thinking about who's feeding your cat back home, or how long you're going to do this, and you lose your attention, that energy is going to stop right in your throat. And some people get nauseous. Some people, their throat closes up. Sometimes they get dizzy because they've lost their focus just before it gets to their brain. You understand? You got to follow it the whole way. And if you're analyzing and thinking, you're in the way. All I want you to do is just keep following the instructions. Now, we're not going to do it yet, but I'm just talking about this. Yes? Because you're all looking at me like, "Oh, God. This guy's for real. I liked him up until this point. Now we got to do something." So then, when that energy finally releases into the brain, then the body, the channel is opened up, and you have a very strong field. And now you feel connected. You feel euphoric, because the body's being freed from the past. You understand that, yes? And so now, before we break, let's do this. Sit up. We're going to break in a minute. Can you give me your best for a few minutes here? Okay, now, all I want you to do is lift up your perineum, your pelvic floor. Just lift it up. The muscles you use for elimination, the muscles you use for intercourse, just lift them up. Lift it up and hold it. Become aware. Are you doing that? So you're having an experience, yes? You're doing something differently and you're creating a new neurological network. Yes? Yes. Causing the string together in a different way. Relax. Come on, gentlemen. Lift him up. Up again. Lift him up again. Come on, perineum, just lift it up. You didn't think you'd be doing Pilates on a Sunday morning, did you? Hold it up. Come on, I'm doing it with you. You're milking that center. You're using those muscles in a different way. Relax. You with me still? Yes. Here we go again. Lift again. You're creating a neurological network, firing and wiring. Hold it up. Hold it up. Lift it up a little bit more. Come on. No faces. And relax. You got that one now? Yes. Turn the person next to you and tell them you got it. All right, here we go now. We're building a model here. We're building, taking steps, just like learning a golf swing. You got to learn steps. Perineum, lower abdomen, first two centers. Lift it up. Perineum, lock down your lower abdomen. Pull it up and in, just those two centers, and squeeze. You can breathe. Don't hold your breath yet. And relax. You got that one? Let's do it again. Come on, perineum, lower abdomen. Lift them up. And hold. Come on, I'm doing it with you. And relax. Come on, one more now. Perineum, lower abdomen. And this time, I want you to think if you can contract them a little more than you are. Right there. Squeeze a little more. You got control over those? Come on, you're pulling your abdomen in and up. First two centers. Squeeze, lift your perineum with it. And relax. You got the first two? Yes. Turn the person next to you and tell them you got it. All right, now ready? Here we go. First center, first, second, third. Lower perineum, lower abdomen, upper abdomen. Lift them up and in and squeeze. Come on, all three. Come on, you got to sit up for this. Come on, squeeze. Lift that perineum up. Pull in that lower abdomen, upper abdomen. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. How was that? You're burning calories. Think about it like that. You're going to have a cookie on the break because you're burning calories. All right, here we go. Perineum, lower abdomen, upper abdomen again. Come on, pull them up and in and squeeze. Your core, first three centers. Squeezing the toothpaste from the bottom. Hold it and relax. Come on, don't look at me like I don't like you anymore. Don't do that. Come on, here we go. Perineum, lower abdomen, upper abdomen. One more time, squeeze. Come on, pull them up and in. Hold. Make sure you're breathing. And relax. You got that? Turn the person next to you and tell them you got it. Take your finger, place it on the top of your head, and take your fingernail and work it in there. Now, here's my question. If you take your hand away, can you still feel that point? Yeah. So you can put your awareness there, yeah? Yeah. So if you have your attention there, your energy's there, yes? Yes. That's your target. You with me still? Yeah. Take your finger, work it in there again. You got it? Yes. Take it away. Can you become aware of that point? Yes. Okay, now listen closely. You are not going to contract any muscles now. Did you hear me? Yes. But what we're going to do is we're going to practice following the breath. So listen closely. I'm going to ask you in a minute, not now, to close your eyes, and I'm going to ask you to take a slow, steady breath through your nose. Are you listening? And you're going to follow your breath from your perineum, through your lower abdomen, through your upper abdomen, through your chest, through your throat, through your brain, right to the top of your head. And when you get to the top of your head, you're going to hold your breath and keep your attention right there. You got that? Yes. Take your finger, work it in one more time. Now sit up straight, keep that channel straight open here now. Okay, now take your hands down, close your eyes, put your attention on the top of your head. And now, in one slow, steady breath, inhale through your nose and follow your breath from your perineum, through your lower abdomen, through your upper abdomen, through your chest, through your throat, through your brain, all the way to the top of your head. And when you get to the top of your head, hold your breath and keep your attention on the top of your head and let your energy follow your awareness. And hold it. And now you can exhale and relax. How'd you do? Okay, take your finger, work it in. Come on, I want you to have this experience. Work it in there. Okay, take your finger away. Sit up straight, eyes closed, like drawing fluid up a straw. I want you to inhale through your nose while you keep your attention on the top of your head. Follow your breath from your perineum all the way up your spine to the top of your head. When you get to the top of your head, hold your breath and keep your attention at the top of your head and let your energy follow your awareness. And hold it. And as you exhale, relax. You did good on that. Now, let's put it all together and then we'll break. Here's how we're going to do this. Listen closely. You're going to take your finger and work it into the top of your head. Now listen closely. At the exact same time that you inhale through your nose, you're going to lift up those lower centers and contract all those intrinsic muscles. Your intent is to pull that energy from those lower centers all the way up into your brain. That's what your breath represents. Do you understand? When you get to the top of your head, I'm going to ask you to hold your breath and squeeze those muscles. And I'm going to say to you, squeeze a little more. And I want you to lift up and squeeze a little more. And you're going to start bumping up against the crystals of that pineal gland, exerting a mechanical stress there. Okay? Don't get mad at me. Just do this with me, okay? Okay. Take your finger, work it on the top of your head. Hands down. Now, close your eyes. And remember, the intention is to pull this energy from those first three centers into your brain. Remember the tube that exists there, like drawing fluid up a straw. Now, inhale, and at the exact same time, lift those muscles up and in, and follow your breath. Come on, pull those muscles up and in, and follow your breath. Perineum, lower abdomen, upper abdomen, through your chest, through your throat, through your brain, all the way to the top of your head, and hold your breath. Keep your attention on the top of your head, and squeeze those muscles. Come on, squeeze a little more. And lift up and hold right there, right there. Hold right there. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And as you exhale, relax. Oh my God, he's trying to kill us. Okay, last one and then we'll break. Finger on the top of the head. Come on, give me your best. That's all I ever want from you. Hands down. Come on, you can do this. Now, make it happen this time. Sit up straight, eyes closed, and in one slow, steady breath, with the intention of pulling the mind out of the body, inhale and lift those muscles up and in, and pull that energy from those lower three centers all the way up into your brain. And when you get to the top of your head, keep those muscles contracted and hold your breath. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And as you exhale, relax. Oh my God. Now, when we break, when you come back, I have some entertainment for you. I'm going to show you some amazing clips of people doing some of the most amazing things. And you are going to get some of those elevated emotions going. And we got to get those chemicals and those juices flowing, because after that, we're going to pull the mind out of the body, and then we are going to recondition the body to a new mind. And you're going to get out feeling very differently than when you started.